Hey everybody, thank you for watching another of our Battlecasts. We've got Patrick Donovan playing Protector of Menoth on the left of your screen, and David Donovan playing Blindwater Congregation, and yes, they are brothers. How's it going, guys?
All right.
Going good.
You guys have fun today, battling each other?
Yes, good game.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, this is the second one we actually recorded. The first one was a little longer than we wanted for our cast. You guys were just trying to feel it out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, new list for me. I don't usually play, well, anything like this. Cleansers for the first time. Resnick, don't really play him that often, so.
You're just trying to bust out a new list, try to see how it feels?
Yep.
Now, you guys play a lot together.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Just because it's easy. Hey, bro, you want to come out and play? And
Yeah, we started playing, like, War Machine. Anyways, what was that? That was back when
2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So around the initial launching of this, or
Right after, like, Escalation, the second book just came out. Well, a little bit after we started.
Yep.
okay, all right. So it looks like we've got a couple things that already happened. I believe David, you had a advance deploy.
Yes. Totem Hunter.
And why did
Advance deploy.
What does he do?
He does a lot of cool things. 3-point solo. He's up there because he has AD. His kind of big thing is that he has prey, so he can pick out a unit or model, whatever, to be his prey, and he gets bonuses for attacking them.
Okay.
And then when he destroys that prey, he picks another one. But he's got Hunter, so he can see through. Ignores force, concealment, cover when determined line of sight. He's got his jump, so he can make a 5-inch place move after he moves.
Big
So,
threat range, he
Reach.
hits hard.
Yeah.
So just a big beat stick.
Yeah,
At that
yeah.
point. All right.
Yep.
And I know, Patrick, you had no advance deploy, but you were on the first turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've noticed already you're moving stuff forward. What are the rings on the table? Those are our.
Those are the objective zones. We're trying to, in this scenario, control the zone on the your opponent's side of the board while having your Warcaster in a zone. And
Okay.
the first one to score 3 points wins the match.
So the first time there's nobody else from his team or the opposite team in one of those, you get a point.
By the end of the second player's second turn, right?
Okay, okay. So you just finished deploying, and we noticed we were already watching this beforehand that Patrick likes to cheaty face his.
Yeah, apparently I'd never noticed it before this, but I creep forward with the measuring.
So it's good to be able to see what you've been doing.
Just get a lockdown on that one. That's no good. That is no good.
Yeah. And David, what are you laying out rings for right now for people who don't know what that's supposed to be?
Those are Bloody Barnabas.
Bloody Barnabas side.
Bloody Bees.
Tar pits.
Swamp Pits.
Swamp pits.
Swamp Pits, yeah, basically 5-inch AoEs. Cost 2 Fury. They're a shallow water.
And your
Swamp
army
pit.
likes being in shallow water.
Yeah, they gotta be placed completely within his control area, and models with amphibious completely inside them cannot be targeted by range attacks.
Now we haven't stated this. What is your caster? Who is it?
Bloody Barnabas.
And what is his main function in your army? Is he get in your face, stand back, cast, what?
He's
Support?
he's pretty much kind of the get in your face beat stick kind of guy.
Okay.
The thing with his kind of whole trick is kind of the whole pit and move into, so protects your army when you get there. The downside with Bloody Barnabas is even though he has a great feat, which is all non-amphibious models are knocked down, I'm playing against Protectorate, who has the Covenant of Menoth, which denies that. So
Now,
can't
Pat,
be knocked down.
Did you take that on purpose, knowing that your brother was gonna have a
I did
knockdown?
not. I actually.
Are you sure?
I offered to remove it from my list since it was such a neuter, and he said, "No, just keep it in." So
Okay.
Gotta get used to it.
We do have to state that Pat did win the first game,
Right.
but he was god rolling dice.
yeah,
It was ridiculous.
well, yeah, it sort of. I think you went too slow creeping up. You were too reserved with
I
your
think
guys the first
I
game.
think first time I was just a little too.
So David was a little slow moving, and you just were
Yeah, I
heavy-handed
got
on
up.
the
I
dice.
got up real quick and was able to force the matchups.
Okay, so right now you guys are just feeling out the board state right now. I noticed that you cast something on the closest tar pit. One of the guys has a token. What is that you play?
Oh, that's the Gatorman Posse.
They probably did Dirgemist.
They have their prayers,
Uh-huh.
which their Bokor can basically say a prayer, which makes them, they can either take Cold-Blooded, which is they can reroll miss-attacks against living models, Sturgeon Mist, they gain +1 defense terror, or March, which gives them Pathfinder. think at this point I cast Dirge and Miss, just give him +1 defense, just
in case he takes some pop shots.
Yeah, just in case something has a chance to get up there and attack.
And your assassin, I see, has moved forward.
Yes.
What was your idea with this? Like, why is he creeping up? Who did you target, actually, I should ask?
It was the Reclaimer Solo.
Okay.
Just because I want to get rid of him so he would stop handing out souls as focus for his warjacks.
Every time a friendly faction warrior model dies within Reclaimer Soul command range, he gains a soul token for each one. During his activation, he can do a special action and hand out up to 3 souls, which convert to focus to a warjack.
On top of what? So
not on top. It's an allocate.
It's an allocate.
Yeah, he can give up to 3 to a warjack.
Now, does he get those for the rest of the game?
Yeah, if he doesn't spend them, he keeps them.
For the rest of the game, but the moment he spends it, it goes away.
Right. Correct.
So the more that they die, the more you can fill it.
Right.
So you got to know, okay, I'm gonna probably lose 2 or 3. 2 or 3 things this time, that time, and you need to keep them flowing out because you're going to waste them if you don't get them.
Right.
So, all right, and now you use some dice as a model ramp.
Yep.
Why? Because you wanted to get them up there and drop them down?
No, like he was basically on a hill, and the hill was in my way.
And it was sloped, so,
Right. So the whole purpose was to get to that edge of the hill, do the Reckoner's assault charge, which I believe failed miserably. Anyways, the shot.
Yeah, you went to shoot my Swamp Gobbers, who were...
With a boosted shot, I might add, and still missed fairly. This is last game, my dice rolls were fantastic, and this one... It evened out by giving me crap most of the game.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help that you shooting my Swamp Garbage, who was a defense 15 and then a 17 because I had put smoke down there. It just wasn't visible.
It was a freebie shot. I wasn't expecting to actually hit you, and the other reason being they were the only objects on the board that I could shoot since everyone else was in the amphibious and into your pits.
Yeah. And honestly, it's good to try and kill one because that shuts one down, which prevents the 5-inch AoE. It allows the 3-inch AoE.
Right.
So it was a good move to do.
Other than that, first turn I just ran everyone up there trying to get towards the zones as I knew Bloody Barnabas is going to creep his way up there in his little pits. And again, trying to force the matchups, but did a little bit better. Dave did on his setup of his army.
I didn't spread out so much this time.
Right.
Now, even though the trees are removed, you're still in tree cover, no matter
still
what.
Forest.
I mean, now, obviously, a single tree doesn't count it as, like, oh, that tree's in your way. It's the entire template is a tree.
Yep, that whole base right there is rough terrain and prevents line of sight beyond 3 inches.
But David doesn't care.
Dave doesn't care. It's not even there for him.
Yeah, but for you, it kind of bones you.
Right. So that's why what I'm doing here is setting up cleansers, which basically have giant flamethrowers, 8-inch spray that cause fire. Setting it up, and they're immune to fire damage, so I can set them up and spray my own guys. And if I hit anyone beyond that, it doesn't matter if I see him or not.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to spray my own guys in an attempt to hit his guy.
Yep.
Which I do, and then fail on the hit roll again.
Yeah, it's defense 14.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so
it was, again, bad matchup. I, had needed 9s to hit. But again, it was something I was doing, and I knew he was going to engage him next round, and I was just hoping to get souls from him when he kills him.
Even though you can't see him,
right.
You know where the model is placed, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, so, spray is just basic. Yeah, you just...
Sprays ignore just about every defensive ability.
In the lore, or in the rules, even though it's a cloaked unit, you still know where that cloaked unit is.
Yeah, now, like things like stealth that states that any range attacks beyond 5 inches automatically miss. So you know they're still there. Like if you're going big fluff style, they know they're there and they're shooting. They just can't target. They can't pin them down.
Right.
Rules-wise, it's great unless you have a lot of abilities that ignore stealth, and one of them being spray is one of the best range attacks in the game because they ignore stealth, they ignor cover, they ignore...
Everything.
Everything.
Even water, right? You can still burn something in water.
I can still burn something in water, and I can still, I guess the big one, one of the biggest defensive bonuses, the in combat or the in melee ability. I ignore that also, which I end up doing later on.
Later on in the game.
Yeah.
Now, who's that lone wolf that's sitting up on the hill back there?
That's my Reckoner. He's up there. He tried to make that shot and failed it. So he's sitting up there, and I was spreading out my jacks so that he couldn't pin them down, throw them against each other. Not that they're going to get knocked down, but I wanted to keep different charge lanes so he can as easily block lanes to the juicy targets.
Now, who's the guy behind your mech
That is most likely that is a choir boy.
It is a choir boy. You like them choir boys, obviously.
Yep.
Now, you didn't take a what are they called? I'm brain farting it right now. Where they buff constantly priests.
There's the Hierophant for the Warcaster.
Yeah.
There's in a 25-point list. There's only so much support you can stick into a Protectorate army until that's all the army is. You can support the crap out of a list,
but nothing's gonna really do much.
Right. You start losing out on some of the punch, and I wanted a unit in there for crowd control.
Now, at this point, have you gotten a point? Because this is turn 2 now. So at the end of this turn, will you get a point?
At the end of second place.
So you're second player right now. So David is second place. So
and the problem is he has to be within my control area.
Right. So
my side.
The control area that the Reckoner is right in front of. That's the one I want. And that's another reason why he's up there was I could threaten that one, and Resnick is already about to get into the other one. So it's already a threat that if he doesn't move into the area, I will score one. So it's sort of also forcing his hand that he's going to have to engage and
push
contest.
Forward.
Zone.
So now at the beginning of your upkeep, you have to remove your pits.
Yeah,
so
pits
they're
go
no
away.
longer in pits, and then you have to figure out where you want to relay them.
Exactly.
Now, can you is it? My idea is it's just, somebody spits this out, and you can put it down anywhere. Can you put it down where that where any of his characters are?
They cannot touch a model.
Okay.
So that's one of the other restrictions.
Really.
Restrictions are they have to be completely within Barnabas' control area, and they can't touch another model.
So you literally you're doing and this is what I thought you were going to do. You just pretty much put it right in front of it.
Yeah.
So he is not going to be able to charge. Or he can charge, but
not as effectively.
Not as effectively.
Correct. Yeah, that was kind of the plan. Help protect my guys too.
And you get to pretty much choose your lanes of attack and his lanes of defense at that point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So that's really
what Barnabas
good.
is really good at.
He clogs it.
Yeah, there aren't too many casters that can give out Pathfinder to Warjacks, especially.
Yeah.
So. And the Protector is one of the factions that's really lacking with Pathfinder.
Right.
Yeah, I did notice because that is what I'm playing, that they don't have a whole lot.
Basically looking at Errants and Idrians is about all you're going to get.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to get the Piper.
Yep.
The mercenary model because
it's called the Piper of Void, but I call him the Piper of Menoth.
Because Menoth
is going to give you
Pathfinder.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've already spent $1,000 on my army. I don't know if I need to spend more.
Yeah.
I've literally bought everything that you can buy.
I used to use the Piper non-stop in Mark 1. I even gave him a bit of a Protectorate scheme. In Mark 2, I haven't been using him that often, more because I think I've just sort of been more of a
ground and pound.
No, just what's the word I'm looking for? I just want to use all Protectorate models. I'm not using Mercs at all.
Like a purist.
You're a purist.
Yeah.
You're going purist.
I'm trying to take my positives and negatives along with my faction. Yeah. And one of my negatives is depending on certain casters and certain units, I'm gonna suffer with the terrain.
I have noticed that turns tend to take a little longer when it's you, Pat. You seem to really think about what you're doing, and it feels like, David, you've already kind of know what you're doing as he's moving it. Is it just the way your styles of play? You seem to kind of wait till the end and then go, okay, this is all that he's done.
I think it might be. Yeah.
There's a couple things with that. Is he actually does a good job of throwing me off. I actually had a plan set up pretty much at the end of his turn, but he would do one thing that would throw me off. Right now, what I'm looking at, while he's rolling right here, or as I'm looking, he's got I got a charge range to his caster. So I'm looking at this right now, trying to figure out for my next turn how I'm going to get this off.
Right.
But he ends up changing everything on.
What I had done prior to this is Barnabas put his pits out. He only put 2 when he cast Warpath, which is when a friendly faction model destroys an enemy model in my control area. When a model in my battle group gets to move 3 inches. So
hence the reason why you just moved.
Yeah,
what's his name?
That's why I moved my Black-Eyed Wrestler up so I could get the charge on his jack.
Oh,
because that's why I charged the Totem Hunter, killed a Cleanser, got the Warpath move off, got the extra.
And I'd already
fringes
used
I need.
I have models called Vassal.
Mechanics?
No, not the mechanics, just the regular Vassals. They are really good for giving my guys Vassal Menoth. Yeah, they give what's called Enliven. So anytime my War Jack is damaged by an enemy attack, except on its activation or during an advance, it gets to move basically out of activation. So he did a point of damage to my Jack, and I realized that I might have left Resnick overexposed. In hindsight, he was too far out from any threat range I actually had. What I should have done is move my Jack somewhere else, but instead I left him right there. Didn't actually hurt me too much, and I'm still looking at this saying, I can still do this.
Yeah, I rolled Dismal.
Yeah, at this point, I'm still looking at, after all this, that I can get my assassination.
What you guys aren't hearing is I'm off to the side watching this every now and then, walking up, and their rolls were literally like, oh, not a problem to hit, but then I roll a 1.
Yeah,
damage.
I mean, I charged in with my Rasslin. I think I did
3 damage?
4 damage
3 or 4
on the charge.
Yeah, it was
and it's
like,
dice -2, so it was just like, and then all the rest were just ridiculous.
Yeah, they were just like ones, twos, ones. They were like literally just pecking at each other every time they would attack, and I was just like, all right, guys. I mean, like, I played a game, and while they were playing their 2 games, and I'm slow, but my guys were getting wiped out with 1 hit. Like, they were just dying, and it's just like I walk over, and you guys like 1, 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on?
We had to set up an average dice rolls a lot of the times. So many of our models should have been
Just wiped.
boxed out.
Gone.
They should have
Yeah,
been
it's
dead.
gone.
Yeah.
And then we just rolled atrociously.
You know, I just got that box out term, meaning you filled out all the boxes.
Yeah.
I just realized what that means. Silly, right? I mean, I'm really new to this, but I enjoy the game. Like, old school 40K player, but this is, to me, a lot better than 40K. Like, you don't have to have, like, just an immense army to do anything. You know, a 5,000 point army. You're like 25 points. I'm thinking, oh my god, so you get, like, 1 model? Like, not really, you know, the point scheme in this, but...
Could do it. Take a Colossal and 2 other models. And there's a
Yeah, you guys
25 point list.
counted that pond as water train, right?
Yep.
Shallow water.
Yes.
And I know you two both set up both games. You say the first game you set up your train. The second game when we rolled into, you didn't change the train.
Nope.
Nope.
Just left it.
Here's a problem I see, Patrick. You never used the biggest model train we have in the shop almost that you specifically grabbed. You never even touched it in both games. You didn't go anywhere near it.
That was more so that there wasn't another piece of terrain to give his totem hunter advantage over me.
Oh, okay.
That's all that was. It's the caster I'm playing Resnick. I don't want to go near any kind of difficult terrain. I didn't have any models that could handle difficult terrain. So that's why the one terrain piece I actually liked was the hill that was placed right there, just so I can get an elevated shot with the Reckoner if the option was there.
Yeah.
And again, since it's Bloody Barnabas, really limited to what I can shoot since he's got the damn swamps.
Yeah. See, and you know, David, you can't get you can't knock down him.
Correct.
And he can't shoot you.
Right.
So you neutered each other pretty much on that when it comes to shooting, you know. Now, if you were to put Bloody Barnabas, say, by where your, what is this gentleman's name? The
Totem Hunter.
The Totem Hunter. If you were to drop a swamp near him, and I know he has that leap ability.
Yeah.
Can you leap out of the swamp and just, like, without doing the move?
It would ignore it.
Yeah, Totem Hunter's got Pathfinder too.
Oh, so it doesn't even... Well,
so
no,
it
just as a defensive measure, because he does have the flamers there.
Well, leap is, it's after your movement.
So you can move like an inch through the water.
Yeah.
And then leap. And,
or you could...
And you could just sit there
I could
and
just
not,
say end my movement, then leap.
And then leap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wouldn't
okay.
matter.
So, but you already are in the trees anyways at that point, so you don't really need extra cover. Now, who are you moving up here?
Those are my Gatorman posse.
Just
have
fun?
The best
Yep.
unit.
I did their prayer for Pathfinder so they could move through the woods unhindered.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole plan here was just to kind of engage his models because they have +2 armor engaging, which is their unyielding rule.
Oh, okay.
So basically just get them up there, get a little extra armor. And the plan was supposed to be try and use those 4 models, wipe out the cleanser, start just kind of rolling around on that flank.
On that flank you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems like, I mean, like, we've seen the end of this, obviously, already.
Yeah.
But right now, it just kind of seems like...
This is where
it's
I
either
had some
way.
bad rolls here, too. Like,
Yeah, it's really either way. It's going to go with the dice at
stalled
this
big
point.
time, yeah. It was pretty sad. Like I should have.
I'm hoping against hope, and I know I'm hoping uphill that he's not going to do much damage to me. He's not going to do much damage to me, but somehow I think I hoped enough because he didn't do crap.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of you guys' roles in this game were just atrocious. Atrocious.
They were
I mean, but I mean that happens. I mean, whenever you're playing this kind of game, you know, it's not like we play with loaded dice all the time. Just every now and then.
Right. Keep
But
people on the toes.
You got to keep them. I mean, you got to at least have some.
It's.
What are you measuring right there? You just your command to kind of get a cheaty inch, like trying to see
measuring control area
to see what you could possibly do,
right.
Which is what everybody does.
Yep.
You know, you measure your control area, quote unquote, and then you go, oh, well, I'm within range.
Exactly.
So
it's the one range that you can pre-measure in this game, other than prey. That'll let you know, and you can judge, and you should judge your ranges off that, what your charge ranges are, what your spell effects, and all that. So right there, I was just trying to see if my plan that I had originally was going to work. Now,
and it wasn't.
The whole plan I had in mind was completely hosed because I forgot about his Feral Geist, which was standing just close enough to his caster, which would not allow me to place my model close enough to attack him. And I don't realize this at this point yet.
Who's that you just moved up on the hill?
That would be just support stuff. And bring Choir up to infuse my jacks, give them +2 to hit and +2 to damage.
Okay. Because you want to try and take out that, what did you call him? The boxer?
Black-eyed Wrestler.
Wrestler.
Right.
Wrestler.
So my goal here is everything that's happening over here with the spraying, that's just incidental. I'm just trying to cover my models. What I want to do in this one is use my Reckoner, who has Iron Aggression, which gives him a free charge and boosted melee attacks. I want to charge into the Wrestler, shoot him on the charge in, hit him once, and then use my vassals to give them additional attacks.
Right.
And I was doing dice minus 2 against him.
Yeah, for damage. Yep.
And so I had 3 attacks, dice minus 2, boosted to hit. And with a charge attack on top of that, I thought I would do enough damage with him that then I could have Resnick move up, Iron Aggression, my Castigator, do a charge.
Look at
on
you
the
two.
Wrestler. Yeah, and
definitely we're checking to make sure that was well within who's getting hit.
Even close on one eye just to make sure. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm pirate looking that one this time.
Just make sure I'm not squinting and cross-eyed.
Now, if you hit, you leave flame damage.
Yep, I light him on fire.
Right, so you light him on fire and you corrose. You have corrosive.
My spitter has corrosion.
Your spitter has corrosion. Yeah. Now, which out of those abilities is more detrimental to what units that he has? Would corrosion work better on his, jacks, or like?
I think corrosion is good against one wound models generally because it does a point of damage.
No matter what.
Yeah. No matter what. It's where fire damage is a POW 12 roll against armor.
Oh, okay.
So
fire is one of the worst. It's probably the worst continuous effect in the game.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
You actually have to roll for it. The nice thing is that it takes effect before Fury and Focus are all
fire hoses.
Everything, but it is a roll.
It is a roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas corrosion, it's only 1 point, but if it's on there, it's a guaranteed 1 point.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're corroding those lightly armored troops for 1 point, doesn't matter. Fire's going to kill those lightly armored troops just the same.
The same, no matter what. Yeah.
And that gives you the option of doing even more damage against higher armored.
How many spray targets? I mean, how many times did you get to spray on these guys?
I sprayed 3 times.
Did you kill any of them?
No.
Jesus.
I did light 2. Oh, I think I lit all 3 on fire eventually, didn't I?
You lit all my gators on fire.
And then it went out. 2 of the fire went out, and then the third one didn't do any damage.
Yeah, the third one that had fire was.
So you just kind of got hosed on those rolls.
Yeah. All I need to do was 1 damage to one of his guys. And that fire went out, and I think I only had a few points of damage on the third guy. That didn't do any damage.
Yep.
So that whole unit that I was hoping to do some incidental damage to just completely ignored me.
We don't like you anymore. Yeah. So, and after that, you kind of go, okay, back to the actual brunt of the assault that I'm facing. Yeah.
And what I didn't realize at the time was, again, my assassination attempt is going to fail miserably coming up, and the amount of damage I could do to these guys right here would have been huge in my survivability.
Yeah, because you could have ran your caster up.
I'm not even realizing how important this spot is right now.
Now, this is the second time now that we've had a player overestimate in matchups an assassination run, either on a cast or on a specific mob that will turn the tide.
Right.
You know, do you think it's a predilection? Your two opinions. Do you think it's a predilection to a lot of people to try to do that assassination run, either on the caster or the one mob that you know if you can take out will just win you the game? Like, I've started seeing that there's people have predilections to trying to kill the caster, you know, and they fail, and then once they fail, they've left their butt hanging in the wind.
Yeah.
You know.
There's different builds go to certain things.
Yeah. For this, that was a secondary for me. You know, I was still trying to play for scenario.
Right.
And that was kind of the whole point. Moving my Gators and Totem Hunter there was hopefully to get rid of them so I could flank in, get into the area, and hopefully kind of, you know, weather the storm there. Sadly, I didn't kill anything, and then he started moving up. And then this is where it kind of really started scaring me here was with his Reckoner moving up and assaulting me.
My force was meant for trying to drive towards his caster or lock or whatever he was using. My caster also is a very aggressive one, and he can kill people. It's just kind of hard to stay alive because he's on a larger base.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks like right now that I know what happens. It's hard not to give it away before we go to it.
Right.
But you hard charged with 3 different units.
Oh, yeah.
To kill the wrestler.
Yeah.
And he doesn't die.
Terrible rules.
Dice were awful.
Was it dice or was it choice? Like, could you have done something better now that you've seen the video?
Well, if I known dice were going to be terrible.
No, not dice. See? What other option would you have had?
The other option would have been the safe option, which is let my warjacks just do what they're going to do, kill his model, just give them focus, let them kill the brunt, and sit back for a turn behind my jacks and forces, and basically sit pretty with all my models and wait for them to come at me a bit more, then press the battle again, because that would have put me up 2 heavy jacks plus my beat stick caster against one of his heavies and a light.
Right. So why didn't you? You just thought you'd take the opportunity
and go for it.
Yeah, and you pushed the assassination. Yeah. So I guess it's just by choice, really, at the time. Yeah. I mean, you can't really weigh out dice rolls. Like, I don't ever count dice rolls as a determining factor. You can't ever, like, to me, I wouldn't say, okay, if the dice go right, I can do this. Right. Well, what happens if the dice go wrong?
Well, that's the whole thing, is to play on the averages. If everything averages out, you can do this, you know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think my dice were averaging from the game prior, which was amazing rolls, and this was crap rolls.
And I think we still, I think, tend to play with some of that page 5 attitude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is way back in Mark 1, page 5, which is basically, you know, man up, go for it.
If you don't,
you know, whatever
you're
type
an idiot.
of deal.
Yeah.
You know,
it's one of the attitudes that drew both of us to this game. It wasn't. I saw assassination, and I knew, well, just like most assassination runs, if you don't complete it, like you said, you're gonna die.
I mean, we're all ex-military, you know, and everything. You know what? You don't do what you're supposed to do, somebody's dying. Right. You know, so if you don't accomplish this goal, which what happens? You don't.
Yeah, I die.
And you die.
Yeah.
You gave up the ghost. You gave it your all, but your all wasn't the best.
Not good enough.
No. And I guess, like, somebody third person watching this, I always go, why would you? I don't understand. Why would you do that? Like, I would be the one that sits pretty.
Well, you could still ask that on this run too, because I still, even like the dice wouldn't matter. I still missed a simple model. There's a 1-point model that's right in front of his caster right now called the Feral Geist. Its only ability that it really does is when a war beast within its command range is destroyed, he can immediately possess it and it zombifies it. It regains one
health in each aspect. So basically, it's a fully running beast. Can't be forced, can't do anything, but it's alive for another turn. Now, more importantly, in this instance, who cares about a war beast that's going with thing? It does pull some extra focus from me for the attack, but more importantly is it's incorporeal. You can pass through and you can move through an incorporeal model so long as you have enough movement
to move completely over it. So I have enough movement to get into combat with his lock, and about here I think I'm realizing that I can't be in that spot because his incorporeal model is taking up that space. So my whole theory has just gone out the window, and right now I'm trying to rerun in my head, oh crap, what am I
What do
gonna
I do?
now?
What do I do? What do I do? And then I believe it's coming up here in a few seconds. You literally go, well, I'm dead next turn.
Yep.
And you look at your eyeballing it. You're like, wait a minute.
This is where he charges in with the Resnick. He's
I
like,
chose to commit anyways.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. I'm not going to take it back. I'm just going to go all out.
And see, now, this is what I don't get. This one move right here, if you already have realized that you can't do it, why throw your caster's ass out?
I had actually misjudged. It wasn't until after I moved Resnick that I realized it.
If it had gone well, and based on averages, Resnick should have killed my Wrestler with possibly one hit, maybe two, on the charge.
Should have been one hit.
But you
one hit.
haven't taken control of the wrestler yet.
Not yet.
You're gonna stand it back up now because
Well, it's still alive right now. This is the point where my Wrestler probably has, I don't know, maybe six health left.
I was standing here when you were getting the
Resnick, who has Engine Destruction on, has +2 movement, +4 to strength. He's hitting with a powerful strength of 18.
Yeah, just
so
ridiculous.
he's doing dice minus 3 on a charge, which is a die should have been gone. I should have been dead by averages.
Yeah.
And
the
you
problem
roll
is he rolls pathetic.
Absolutely.
It took me 2 shots to kill him.
Yeah, I was standing there, and you'll see my hand, people, when you coming up here, because we couldn't even simple count this. We were so amazed that he didn't die, we couldn't even simple count the dice and realize the Wrestler lived an extra turn because of how bad the dice rolls were.
Yeah,
Remember?
it was,
you were pulling no focus on him, and you were like, well, I guess I got to take this last one, and we're like, no, you have one more focus. The Wrestler died because you couldn't hit him with the first time, and it was just so pitiful.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to say.
At this point, I'm flustered when I realize my whole plan's gone down the tubes and I don't kill him in one shot because I only have enough focus to cast a spell, Iron Aggression, onto my Castigator to get a free charge with boosted to hit rolls on my charge target. And it's
yeah, see, that's where we're sitting there, we're going, okay.
Yeah, I think this is the point where we're just
I've realized,
is this really just happening right now?
Yep.
I mean, we've got 10 more minutes of us just pretending like the game isn't over.
Yeah,
it really is.
Pretty much.
It really is the last 10 minutes of this.
And this is
there
where
it is. Here it is.
This is where my Wrestler is now dead and been taken over by Feral Geist, and now he has to.
That's where he just rolls, and I think this is where we realize, wait, he didn't die.
No, he did die. I was wrong because I forgot to add in my +4 strength from my.
And then we're like, he didn't die.
He didn't die.
We're like, oh no, wait a minute, no, he is dead because of +4 strength.
So he rolled again.
Yep.
He dies.
Yep.
And like, oh yeah.
And then you possess him, and I go, wait, you've taken too many off.
Right. Yep. And they're like, okay, that's right, he did die. Possess him.
And now I'm like, wait a minute, you've got one too many, and there I go. I'm like, I'll give you back one at least. And then that's one you leave for armor, right? Because you're like, well, I can't do nothing now.
Yep.
And now he's dead.
He's dead.
Now it kills him.
Now he kills him. But you get to retreat.
This is where I get to now place my
Feral
Feral
Geist.
Geist.
He realized what my plan is.
Right.
I had pulled his Feral Geist away from the spot that I wanted, and it opened up my charge lanes, and there he is. He just screwed me.
Yep, he just backs it up.
But
and the moment he backs it up, you're done.
It was just, place
See,
your
that's
Feral Geist.
my look of defeat right there.
You're like, oh.
That's
oh, no, I'm doing the heavy lean.
Yeah, that's my, like, is there any other option? Now he's got swamps to either side of him, so it's going to cut down any kind of charge around.
This is where now he's trying to figure out how can he mitigate.
At which point I can't. Because all my other models have already activated.
Yeah,
I left Resnick swinging in the wind.
And there's nothing else you can move it. Yeah, look at you. Oh.
Yeah, that's the look of what?
Defeat.
Yeah.
You know, this
is a thing where had he killed my Wrestler in one hit, it would have been taken over by Feral Geist. Would have taken one more hit. You would have plenty of focus then to zap my Feral Geist.
Right.
With a spell, kill it, and then
charge him.
Yeah, I would have been in trouble because he had also cast his feet this turn, so all fury went away. So I couldn't reave anything from my Wrestler.
One big hit on his guy.
So it was a good plan. Yeah. It was just, and by averages, it should have panned out. But the dice just decided to fail him.
So at this point, you just move some stuff around and go pray to God.
He takes a charge on my snapper, my bull snapper, to get that thing out of the way.
Before that, I'm trying to figure out what models I can do to put in the way of Resnick and a bunch of crocodiles looking right at me.
Yeah,
there
there's
isn't
nothing you can do.
There isn't any.
Yep.
The book's large base gets in the way of being able to move. Yeah, it's just terrible. It's terrible. So now it's all done.
It's just downhill. So, just so everybody knows, you guys can finish watching while we talk. But Patrick does lose to his brother. David takes the win with Blind Water.
Yes.
Now, David, why do you play Blind Water?
Skaters.
Just because it's gators?
I
gotta admit, giant crocodiles are cool.
Yeah, they are kind of cool.
I may my kind of main faction is mercenaries. It's kind of my main faction.
That was the
right
first
now.
one I saw you playing.
And I had the Gamerman Posse when they first came out in Hordes because they work for everybody.
Right.
I used to play Circle, and they were a great unit, especially with Kruger back in the day when he could give them 4-inch reach on their weapons.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so they were awesome to have. But yeah, once I found that they were actually minions were becoming a true faction, picked up the book, and I was just giant alligators with a cranky turtle, and it's a warlock.
He's a snappy turtle. He's a snapping turtle.
He's also cranky too.
He's cranky too.
And it's a warlock trying to ascend to godhood. I mean, plus the voodoo theme is very cool.
Yeah, he's already been very always leaned towards the undead anyways.
Yeah.
Your first faction was
Crix.
Yeah, and those are just assassins. Now, if since you are the winner, we will probably be asking you to come back for another one.
Okay.
If you had a choice, what faction would you like to play against?
I'll try anything, honestly.
Anything. Nothing's your weak suit?
Yeah. I like playing against different stuff. I play against Protectorate mainly because he plays Protectorate.
Yeah, your brother plays, so it's easy.
And he has trolls too, so obviously play against that. But yeah, anything. I guess outside of those two would be a good change.
Good change?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And Patrick, why do you play what you play? Why do you play Protectorate?
I've always liked religious nutters. Didn't know anything about the faction, but I knew there were a bunch of crazy intolerant religious nutters, so that's where I went.
No, you average wins more than this normally between your brother and you. Like, it just depends on...
I say, actually, since we started coming here, we're probably about 50-50.
Yeah, you're about even.
Yeah. He'll take one, I'll take one. He'll take one, I'll take one,
What is your worst army to fight? For Protectorate or for your play style?
For my play style? True, I don't really know. A good player.
A good player. You guys are very good players, especially after the first one we had. You guys, this one was actually a really cool battle. If you had a choice of what you could play against, not because it would be an easy fight, but just because you would want to see how your army would match up to it, what would you pick?
I'm sort of in the same boat. I have a lot of fun playing against any list, and with playing against my brother here, he's played so many factions that it's fun. Unlike him, he's had to deal with me playing Protectorate since 2005. With me, I've played against I don't know how many different.
You played against Crix, Kador, Circle, Retribution, Mercs.
So you can't really pick one.
Yeah.
You just keep playing them all.
I'm down to 3 now. I get my Mercs.
How's your pocketbook feel?
Retribution, a lot better now.
Better now that you own all of them?
Yeah, I don't own all of them.
I don't see either one of you having a Colossal, though. Is that something you guys kind of stick away from?
No, actually. Well, the big reason for that is I disappeared out of the... Both sort of did out of the gaming scene for a little bit. I bought a house and just that.
A house.
Yeah. And so
being an adult sucks, right?
Right. So getting back into it now, I actually just came into it with Colossals had been released for a little bit. And that's the only real reason I'd love to get
but
one.
our Protectorates, we do not have a Colossal yet. Ours comes out at the last,
November,
but it is ridiculous.
I'm looking forward to the Judicator.
And why about you? Does your faction even have a Colossal?
Minions do not have a Colossal. Or a Gargantuan, I should say. Mercs do.
Mercs do.
It's not out
Galleon
yet.
is awesome.
Galleon, which is...
Yeah, it's cool.
Is it a boat? Please tell me it's a boat.
No.
It's not a boat. It's not, but it does have a...
It's a piratey thing.
It's a pirate thing.
It's probably
one
of the...
Yeah, that's why I call it piratey. It's got a harpoon on it.
It's one of the most amazing ones out there. So
what was that? What is it?
There's a giant harpoon.
Oh, we got Peanut Gallery saying it's got a giant harpoon. That's more than enough.
Yep.
What are you blessed playing here?
This is where, just to get a little extra, I had moved my Ironback Spitter out of the way in case I need to get a charge with Bloody Barnabas. So I figured, well, I'll soften up Resnick and shoot him. The thing is, I miss Resnick, but
how did you miss
by
him?
an occurrence of a happy accident, it actually drifted onto his cleansers, which help open up lanes
a lane
to,
to charge Resnick.
It just
with
made
your...
my life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because then instead of having to...
Pat, you're not looking like you're feeling too good over
Everything that could go wrong went wrong that round.
See, because it was at this point where I'm like, okay, I can move my Totem Hunter, I can leap, I can attack Resnick in the back. It's cool. But now I'm just like, oh, now I can just charge Resnick with my Totem Hunter.
Yeah.
Get the charge attack with it. And then it allowed me to fit 2 Gatormen on him as well.
Look, my pen's dying. Yeah. I can't mark my life.
My pen is dying as fast as my army.
Any excuse, right, to drag this out. Your brother didn't your brother even chuck you a pen at one point in one of these games?
And this
Shut up, bitch.
This is where Totem Hunter charges back arc.
Although I will mention that you did Snake Eyes on your charge attack.
I did.
Was
it? Yes.
It was your charge attack.
Yeah, I think it was.
Is that
it
this
was one of these. It was terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might.
Did we get a fist pump for awesomeness for doing double Snake Eye?
I don't know.
Was it that? Oh no, that wasn't it.
No, that was a hit.
That was a hit.
I can't remember. Maybe it was the Gators that got the Snake Eyes. Oh no, it gave me a false sense of hope.
A false sense of hope. Like most of my life.
I think it was when my Gators rolling in with the first hack. I was like, oh yeah, I was strength 13 on
there. It is. I think that was the Snake Eyes.
Yeah, I saw one.
Yeah. No, that's still hit. Dang it.
That's a hit. Yeah, my Totem Hunter hit both times.
But you didn't do enough damage.
No. Yeah. Well, guys, it was really great having you guys in here. We definitely want to get you guys back to do another one. Maybe you could pick one of your 16 armies you have and do something else. But we're definitely going to try to get winners versus winners some of these times and get it set up to where we do a lot. And we definitely have you both back because you guys have a great rapport with your armies, as you can tell. We're just waiting for the death blow. I mean, you really just took your time killing your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure I got it.
I mean, you didn't table him.
No, but I just.
Neither one of us really lost much. I just lost the most important piece.
Yeah. I mean, but to be honest, you did leave him swinging in the wind.
Absolutely.
You just left him. Look, he's completely surrounded.
I think this might have been the Snake Eyes on the charge. I'm not sure.
Like a bunch of Mississippi alligators. Nope, that was a 3 at least. I saw at least a 3.
You do 7 points, I believe, right here.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
You do 7 points. Which took me down to, I believed, after the 7 points, because your Totem Hunter did such a horrible job that it left me with about
sad
2 points or so.
Well, everybody, thank you for watching, and hope you guys tune in for another one. This is Doug with Pat and David Donovan. Thank you guys very much.
Boop.
And it looks like it's over. Thank you, guys.
Hey.
Hey, no problem.